How much did my £4,500 portfolio pay me out in dividends in the month of July? Let's get into it. Okay guys, so last month we were paid out by 5 different companies or stocks. Those companies were First Internet, the S&P 500, the Footsie All World Dividend, GSK and National Grid. Now we're going to be revealing exactly how much all those companies paid me, how much I have invested in those companies, and when I expect to receive another payment from them. And then at the end of the video, we'll compare this year's dividend income with last year's dividend income, just to see if we're moving in the right direction, which is towards turning me from a minimum wage warehouse worker into a millionaire. And you can see that happen right here on this channel. All you've got to do is subscribe so you don't miss a video. Okay, first up we have a pretty special one, and we'll go on to why it's special in just a minute. So this company is First Internet, so ticker symbol INBK. Now these guys provide a range of banking services and to retail and commercial customers in Indiana. Now this is a very special share because I did not have to buy this stock at all. It was actually given to me for free and given to one of you guys as well for free. So if you're thinking about starting to invest, there's a link down there in the description. So we've created money out of thin air. So if you click that link and you invest with free trade, you get a free share and I do too. And we've created money out of thin air. So there you go, not too bad. Now the total amount I have invested into First Internet, I say invested, the total amount I have given to me by you incredible people in First Internet is £17.42. And in the month of July, I got paid a dividend of 3p. Now, these guys tend to pay out 3 times per year, and I'm expecting my next dividend payment from them in the month of January, which will be a larger one. Now, the dividend yield of First Internet is currently sitting at 1.03%. So we're going to be looking at how it's done over the last 12 months and then the last 5 years, just to give you guys a better picture as to how the stock is doing. So over the last 12 months, First Internet is actually down 38.08%, which is a pretty bad performance for the stock over that period. But when you take a longer look at the stock, and we can have a look at it over the course of the last 5 years, First Internet is actually up 59.22%, which is actually really good, especially when you take into account the last 12 months is included in them 5 years. So not too bad. So over the last 12 months, it's not been great reading for First Internet, but when we take a longer view of the stock, we can actually see it's not done too bad over the course of the last 5 years. And this is totally free money for me and one of you amazing people as well. Now I could keep getting this dividend, I could sell it, but yeah, it's just totally up to me, it's totally up to you. So thank you for this free money. Enjoy yours. It's down there in the description if you want them. Yeah, not too bad. Okay, up next we have the S&P 500, ticker symbol VUSA. Now this exchange traded fund or ETF tracks the investment results of 500 of the most valuable US public companies. Now the total amount I currently have invested into VUSA is £90.59, and in the month of July I got paid a dividend of 22p. Now these guys tend to pay out 4 times per year, and I'm expecting my next payment from them in the month of September. The dividend yield of VUSA is currently sitting at about 1.04%. So now we're going to be taking a look at how it's done over the last 12 months and then the last 5 years, again, to give you guys a better picture of how the stock is doing, just like the last one. So over the last 12 months, VUSA is up 12.66%, which is really good performance 12 months. But then when we take a longer view of the stock and have a look at it over the last 5 years, we can see that VUSA is up a whopping 93.4%, which is amazing. So over the course of the last 12 months, there's been some incredible growth there that has been backed up with the performance over the last 5 years. Now, moving forward, I'm not sure about adding to my position here, which sounds crazy considering how good it is, but I do have a lot of money in the S&P 500, but in VUAG. So I'm not sure if I should consolidate all that and put it all into VUAG. So yeah, not sure about that. But what I do know is this stock has performed incredibly well over the last 12 months and 5-year periods. Right, up next we have the Footsie All-World Dividend. Ticker symbol VHYL. Now, this exchange traded fund, another ETF, tracks an index of high-paying dividend companies all across the world, and the income is distributed then as cash. Now, the total amount I currently have invested in VHYL is £56.62, and in the month of July, I got paid a dividend of 64p. Now, these guys tend to pay out 4 times per year, and I'm expecting my next payment from them in the month of September. Now, the dividend yield of VHYL is currently sitting at 3.06%. So now we're going to be looking at how it's done over the last 12 months and then the last 5 years, just to give you guys a better picture as to how the stock is doing. So over the last 12 months, VHYL is up 7.96%, which is a really good 12-month performance. But when we take a longer view of the stock and look at the last 5 years, we can see that VHYL is up a really nice 50.68%, which is really good. Not as good as VUSA, but nearly 51% in 5 years is a very good return. So over the course of the last 12 months, it's seen some very good growth in at just shy of 8%. But then over the course of the last 5 years, north of 50% is great. Now, this is actually a candidate for me for my YouTube pension, which we'll talk about in a future video, watch this space, but I do expect to add to this position in the future. Not giving anything away. Okay, up next we have GSK. Ticker symbol GSK, which is nice and easy. Now, these guys are a major player in the UK when it comes to pharmaceuticals and one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the world. Now, the total amount I have invested in GSK is currently sitting at £237.82, but about £40 of that was bought recently, so some of that total mixed the ex-dividend date for that payment, that £40. So in July, I got paid a dividend of £2.24. Now, these guys tend to pay out 4 times per year, and I'm expecting my next payment from them, or next dividend from them, in the month of October. Now, the dividend yield of GSK is currently sitting at 4.43%. So now we're going to be taking a look at how it's done over the last 12 months and the last 5 years to give you guys a better picture, again, as to how the stock is doing. So over the last 12 months, GSK is actually down 10.15%, which is really bad. That's a really bad 12-month performance. But when we take a longer view of the stock, we can see that over the last 5 years, GSK is down 9.46%, which is certainly not ideal for GSK or anyone who invests with them, maybe yourselves. But it may present a little bit of an opportunity, and it just kind of, if you look at it, kind of does this, and we seem to be in one of those dips right now. But yeah, hopefully I'm going to be looking to maybe increase my position here and then ride that rave of recovery. Rave of recovery? The stock's going up. So stupid. Right, I'm leaving it in. So hopefully we can ride that wave of recovery and make some nice money here. So that's going to be the plan. But yeah, down 9.46% over the course of the last 5 years. Not ideal for GSK. Okay, last but not least, we have National Grid. Ticker symbol NG. Now, basically, these guys keep the lights on and keep the boiler on. Now, they manage the gas and electricity network in the UK, so huge. Now, the total amount I have invested in National Grid is £114.84. And in the month of July, I got paid a dividend of £3.39. Now, these guys tend to pay out twice per year, and this dividend was the larger one of the two. And I'm expecting my next payment from them in the month of January. Now, the dividend yield of National Grid is currently sitting at 4.43%, which is the exact same as GSK, Illuminati. So now we're going to be taking a look at how it's done over the last 12 months and then the last 5 years, just to give you guys a better picture as to how the stock is doing. So, Over the last 12 months, National Grid is up 6.74%, which is a really good 12-month performance, actually really good. But when we take a longer look at the stock, we can see that over the last 5 years, National Grid is up 26.27%, which is good. It's nice to get back to a stock on the rise. So yeah, I'll be adding to my position here. January is going to be the smaller payment, but I think I'll need a holding of around £300, maybe just above, to get that £10 dividend payment this time next year, which will be really nice. That is it's a lot of money to contribute. But yeah, we'll see how we go. But that's the plan, to get a £10 dividend payment from National Grid this time next year. And in order to do that, I'm probably going to have a holding of around £300, maybe just above, if the dividend stays the same. Right, let's compare this year's dividend with last year's dividend, just to see if we're heading in the right direction here. Okay, so in July of 2024, we had dividends of 54p in total. And this year in July, we had dividends of £6.52. So £6.52 might not be a lot of money to a lot of people, but that is a huge sign of growth, especially when it's going from 54p to £6.52. So it's over a 10x increase. I'll be pretty happy we can do that next year. But yeah, that is a huge sign of growth, and one that I'm really happy about, and hopefully we can keep heading in that direction. And before you know it, I will be that millionaire that I keep talking about. Now, talking of growth and earning money, this YouTube channel is actually in a position where we can now start earning money directly from the platform and start earning money directly from ads. And if you guys want to know exactly how much money that is, how much money that we earned in the first 7 days that we were monetized, then you can go ahead and watch that video right here. But apart from that, I'm Steve. This is the Extra Income Boss. That was everything that I earned in terms of dividends for the last month. And that is everything that I earned in terms of YouTube revenue, which is a little bit more. I'll see you guys again in that one right there. Peace.